Here we see the web admin panel for the FDBD application. As you can see on the left, we have a series of tabs that all correlate to the various modules within the iPad application. In addition, we have some employee list management functionality, as well as information associated with customers who have interacted with the system thus far. We have some high-level data, and again, this is all configurable based on the needs of the organization. So we'll start by digging into the Returns tab. Now here we see on the top, we have the ability to filter all of the returns data that has occurred within the system. So we could filter by date and time, state, return status, whether the return has been approved, auto-approved by the system, denied, searching combined data by store, or even if an ID was scanned or not. So for instance, I may select, well, give me all the returns that were approved. So we know a manager actually went in and approved these returns in the system manually. I could then choose to export that data, and I have a CSV file that downloads locally. Now, if we look below, we see all of the filtered data here with customer information, information about the transaction, and then on the right, we have this Details button. So if we select Details, we can actually dig into that individual customer's return history across all stores within the organization. So here we actually see that this individual has returned 4 attempts in the last month, which actually has crossed our threshold. The value of those total returns, the number of store locations that they've attempted this return. And below we can actually dig in and see each one of those return attempts. We could export that data, or we could also view more info about this given customer. And from there, you could choose to add this customer to a list. So certainly, banning a customer based on some of these criteria may be needed, but we also have this cleared customer option. That's, for instance, say you have a caterer or someone who is known to return often in a legitimate way. We could also clear them so that they would never receive the stop sign in the system. So that's really the simple back-end side of the returns module. We'll move into our timers module next. So here we just select timers. And then here we can see all the different timers that we have configured in the system. So in this case for Rouse's, we have manager floor care, and produce floor care. And below, we can see the reporting data about each timer. So what we're looking at here is we are looking at all of the manager floor care timers across the Rouse's store locations that we have live to date. And then we're looking at the average time between resets on each of those timers. We can look at it across the last 24 hours, the last week, or the last month. We know what that compliance interval is. We know whether, based on those averages, this store would be deemed compliant. And so this was really an easy way to start your day to come in and see, okay, what are my most out of compliant timers, and is this something that I actually have to dig into further? We can select options and actually dig in and see every single interaction each time the timer was reset at a given location. And again, all of this data can be exported as well for your records.